And some poetry. You have just heard one of the greatest narratives about Famagusta, and I am working to make sense of Varosha within the context of Famagusta, of course. I am a poet and a narrative communication scholar. Basically, what I do is I try to analyze the production and circulation of all kinds of narratives like literature, films, paintings, monuments, museums, and features projects like EcoCity, for example. And I'll analyze the process of construction places, be it a city, be it a nation, a country. My field work, the focus is Varosha, within the context of Famagusta, of course, again. And my studies are at the intersection of narrative, media, memory, and heritage studies. You have heard a lot of about the context, so let me not repeat what you have already heard, but let me just say that under the supervision of Professor Ceren Boğaç, what my doctoral field work was on understanding the meaning-making processes of place attachment, forced displacement, and deferred resettlement. And what I'm doing now, after completing my PhD between 2018 and 2021, which included the experience of the sudden, surprising opening of Varosha to public visits, now I am focusing on public space memory. And it's not an academic work only, it is kind of transforming into a creative work. I am writing poems out of my academic data. And I will be sharing one with you today, but let me tell you how the project started. There was a call for research by Visual Voices, EU-supported project, and they called for art for social action. I participated in this research, and there we teamed up with Visual Voices, which is a community service initiative, leading, supporting such projects that would cause engagement with the public of all the research that we do. I, inspired from my work, of course, drawing on my academic work, I titled my research as, this new creative research, as We Are Not Ghosts. It comes from the research, ethnographic research, with the participants repeating their protest against this phrase, ghost town, saying that we are not dead yet. Why do people name our city as a ghost town? We are not dead yet. So, taking this as a title, I wanted to create a kind of social engagement project with poems, and in the end, we will be having an application where you can have free access, and it will be a geolocated application where you go to that specific place and you start hearing the specific poems in 3 languages, Turkish, English, and Greek. And the project is due end of August, and I will be having my public presentations to explain what to do with it, how to do with it, why we have that in September. So you will have access to it wherever you are, not only for people in the specific location, but anywhere in the world will have access to it. Why public place? Like, why am I focusing on public places? Let me just let one of my participants word this. I am now left to claim my home, leaving all others unclaimed. My school, the park, the stadium, the tennis court, the beach, the library, even the streets, the city streets that I used to pass by every day on my bike. I'm depressed because I feel that this is how the essence is lost. And I did hear this from the majority of Varoshians saying that the moment we're asked to go and claim our private homes, we want to claim the public places as well, because there we had the fabric of life. There we became the community. So we claim the public space. Focusing only in claiming the personal property is like giving away the affinity that we felt, the bond we felt with the city. I had, for things like places that never belonged to my property, like personally, often without financial value, but which evoke valuable memories of my youth, intertwined with your experience, and compose the essence, the life in our city. I will never stop claiming passionately these memories. I claim the loss of use of common life. This is the claim. So I said, okay, public space should something that we should care. We should create narratives about it and put it into circulation to communicate that memory, because it is that memory that makes the refugees of that place connected to their places, not through their personal, private properties. Why poetry? I got all this academic research. Why poetry? Well, today, after hearing many things, and when you're back home, if you remember a line from a poem, an image, a metaphor that will resonate with your own personal experiences, and you can keep remembering it, circulating it, that means poetry has succeeded amplifying a human experience in you. It does something that prose cannot do. It is, let me just quickly summarize. First of all, it's not a message going into your intellect directly. It invites you to combine all your senses, your soul, your heart, your experiences. It's not an intellectual activity only. With poetry, what I, as a poet, experience is those forgotten, those skipped, those unrecognized experiences, human experiences, not only specific refugee of Varosha experience, but universal human experience. I'm interested in magnifying those with poetry. I owe this map to my dear Jason Wynn. Thank you very much. He is, all the architects. I always feel home with them. They are the inspiring people, architects, urban designers, any people interested in, anyone interested in ecological consciousness. They are my inspiring favorite people. I don't find this in the community of communication, unfortunately, because our concern, the things that I feel interested, always resonate with the architecture people, with environmental people, because you are the ones imagining the world in a certain way, and you have the tools and the strength to design it on paper. So I came up with this route. So you see the entrance, and we will have this poetry route, which will last 10 minutes or something. It's a walking route, and only the C station poems are ready. It's an ongoing process. I will be sharing only one of the poems here, and if you are interested, I can happily read the other two on the bus or something. We have three main stations: C station, Park station, and Agora station. I will be sharing a poem from the beach. It's a coastal issue, and what you see here is in the shape of, what do you see? if you can see. A tongue, right? This is why the beach is called glossa, which means language or tongue in Greek. And inspired from the place itself, I am creating these poems, and I call them place-based poems. You can think of this in the line of a site-generated art as well. Towards the right of that tongue, you see that the beach is cut by the barbed wire. And the water, of course, laughing at the barbed wire, ignoring it, and continuing its natural way. Let's have a look at it from the air. One of the poems, the first poem, will be about this little rock, which is called the Camel Rock, and it's not visible on Google Earth. And this is what the poem, the first poem, will be telling you. I will be taking you to the tongue there, where you see that circle, if you can. And I named the poem as Barbed Tongue, inspired from the place being cut by the barbed wire. Because literally it is cut by barbed wire. I will be giving you quickly a glossary to the poem. You know what tongue is, and you will be hearing phrases like hidden under the sun, which means, which is derived from amorhostos, meaning under the sun. And the name of the city in English is Famagusta, in Turkish is Mausa. You will hear Faliron, which is the name of the fish tavern at that specific place. And it was also the ancient port of Athens. You will also hear painter's window, and this refers to Georgios Paul Georgiou, a Famagustan painter, and you can see the remnants of his studio, used to be in blue, at that specific location. So here's the poem. The Barbed Tongue. I will be sitting, and I maybe you will need to follow it from the screen, because I am someone who also would like to see the poem in writing. Okay? Look at your own feet. Know where you stand. You stand at the barbed tongue of an island city hidden under the sand. The sea ebbs and flows, shows the beach remnants of life seaborne, moves the people of the land like grains of sand, removes the barb of a conquering military mind. Indifferent to the border, the political order of things, indifferent to barbaric attire, this barbed wire, indifferent to past or whoever is passing, the sea is indifferent. Take a step in. Look at your own feet. Know where you stand. You stand at the barbed tongue of an island city falling behind. Welcome. You too shall pass. Pass, knowing where you stand. At the medieval suburbs of the walled glory, the citizens are forced to leave by approaching bombs. The homes are fenced off to host the army for decades long. Ghost city, they say, not knowing the citizens dream on. They leave elsewhere to return one day, they dream on. You shall know you stand where you come to dream on. Dream with them to revive the city for all of us this time round. Take a step out of the sea and sit for a coffee. Where you sit now used to be a fish tavern, the Phaleron of Varosi and the ancient port of the Athenian Sea. Look at your own feet when it's time to walk. Walk onwards in the city. Don Quixote is right ahead on the wall in his solitude, awaiting to meet you. Through the painter's window of the blue bungalow, the blue of the sea will look through you too, balancing the weight of eternal dreams and memories in a backpack.